had neighbors that were my folks' best friends, George and Nell Williams. He showed me the first thing I ever learned musically on their piano at their house when I was like about 5 years old. And I can still play what he showed me. It's burned, you know. So that's my first real musical memory. I got my first guitar for Christmas, that K acoustic, and I didn't, you know, like I said, I was all about the Beatles, but I loved that stuff. But the first thing I did when I sat down and I figured out, you know, what the notes were, like, you know, I just could tell because of my piano background. And I'd learned Pipeline on piano. I had like, you know, song books with all those kind of songs in them and stuff. And so I just sat down, I went, well, I know that it starts on a B, you know, and I know what, I could see the notation in my mind of what it was. So I'm like, oh. You know, kind of about that, you know, then. Actually, then I played only one finger. I hadn't learned chords yet. I thought being a lead guitar player meant you just did that stuff. I was a kid. Anyway, so that's how that happened. And then the Beatles came along, and that first appearance on Ed Sullivan, you know, like millions of others, I went, well, I think I want to do that.
I'll tell you something, I think you'll understand.
That led him to pick up the guitar at 14 and started the route through garage bands to working school and community dances, where he found out he could make money while following his dream.
All these little towns had teen hops around. We'd play in Laverne, Cordell, Elk City, Cheyenne, all these towns out in western Oklahoma, made it out to Guymon. And then we even expanded into Texas, the panhandle of Texas. There would be big crowds at these dances. So, you know, that's pretty good money for back then.
Ware's post-college life took a significant turn when he relocated to New Mexico and crossed paths with the renowned troubadour Ray Wylie Hubbard.
But he introduced me to, you know, a different side, you know, some different music than I had ever played or heard before. And it was really lucky too, because there were people coming through town visiting, like Steve Fromholtz came through town, and he brought along a guitar player with him by the name of Leonard Arnold. And Leonard was the first guitar player that I saw or got to play with, where I got to see how, you know, somebody could really serve a song. I mean, he was really good. And I just never seen a player like him up to that point.
This encounter eventually led to the formation of Ray Wylie Hubbard and the Cowboy Twinkies, a band that achieved cult status and performed across the nation in the 1970s, including at notable venues from the Troubadour in Los Angeles, as well as tours with the likes of Willie Nelson.
That band with Terry, you know, just being you know, like I say, man, he played everything. I mean, he did his musical knowledge. I mean, everything from the old blues, like, you know, Hubert Sumplin, you know, could do that, or he could do Hendrix, or he could do Jimmy Page, you know, or Muddy, or Lightning, or, you know, it was just you know, it's just this musical catalog.
In the fall of '74. Willie was booked to play 6 nights at the Troubadour in LA, and he said that he wanted us to be his opening act. And so we drove out to LA. So we went out and we did 6 nights with Willie at the Troubadour, and he, show you what kind of guy he is, you know, Doug West and the people at the Troubadour, they had no idea who we were. And Willie actually ponied up money out of his own pocket to make it worth our while.
Tired of the road, Ware returned to Oklahoma to help form the Sensational Shoes when the Cowboy Twinkies disbanded. And in his spare time, Ware began a string of instrumental albums with his debut, Caffeine Dreams.
While Terry can rip off a lead as well as anybody, that's not what he does. His time is the whole song. His time is supporting the song, supporting the songwriter, and just coloring the melody. And that's what he's so great at, because he listens. He listens to the songs, and then he'll, like, you know, he'll chart them out, he'll study them. Some guys are just like, oh, they're too lazy to mess with all that. Buffalo, you know, takes this very seriously. He doesn't care if he's playing to 5 people in here. You know, if he got a job playing with a songwriter, he's going to do his studying, and he's going to do it right, and he's going to support the song.
It's a little harsh, Greg.
He's just always part of that person, even though it could be that it's the first time he's met him. And so it's, you know, I think it's pretty rare to find that kind of talent that's not, you know, full of themselves, perhaps. I don't know.
When I first met Buffalo and first realized, you know, that, you know, his, like I say, that his technique, but also his heart and what he played. So yeah, it was fun.
Staying in touch with the next generation of Oklahoma artists, he joined rising star John Fulbright in the studio and on tour, culminating in performances at the 2013 Grammys and on the David Letterman Show in August 2014 in the same theater where the Beatles had made their Sullivan appearance.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Fulbright.
Well, I don't want to have another friend, and I don't want to wonder how your life has been. Well, I just want to set things straight, apologize to you. Somebody tell me what's so bad about happy.
Nice going. That was lovely. Thank you, gentlemen. That was great. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Nice job. John Fulbright, ladies and gentlemen.
There's no questioning Terry Ware's enduring impact on the music industry and his unwavering dedication to his craft. Through his remarkable journey from small-town Oklahoma to performing on prestigious stages and collaborating with artists from coast to coast, Terry's passion for music has been unwavering. His contributions to the music scene, soulful performances, and commitment to supporting emerging talent have solidified his legacy as a true icon in Americana.
When I can play with a player who is sensitive to the song, to the lyric, to the melody, he knows where it's going, he anticipates, and then when it comes time to pass that baton to him, he runs with it.
He's very, very supportive, and he's a great sideman, but he's also a great singer and a great songwriter. So he's kind of he's a selfless kind of guy, really.
He's versatile, so he can play so many different styles very well. And that's the other thing. He's a great player and just tasty, economical. I mean, nothing really wasted. He knows his instrument, and he soulfully he knows it, and he just plays. He plays just so tastefully and beautifully, that I'm continually, every time I hear him play, I'm blown away by something he's done, you know, just like, wow. It opens up into a whole different dimension.
Well, I was amazed at him when I first heard Terry. I'm always in admiration of people who can play the guitar. I'm still trying to learn after all these years. He's an inspiration to everybody that hears him, I think, when he plays, and he's just the easiest person to get along with too.
Oklahoma, there's a foundation there, you know, growing up, and that, you know, you connect. You know, there's you know, Oklahoma's kind of like Texas without the ego. Wait a minute, you scratch that, but I got
This
gigs.
won't run in Texas.
Okay, no, but you know what I mean. But you know, like I say, in a sense, you know, and Oklahoma, you know, very, you know, there's a lot of integrity. And growing up in Oklahoma, I learned that from my folks, and I'm sure Terry from his folks had that same sort of moral compass that they followed.
As we come to a close, it leaves us with a profound appreciation for Terry Ware's extraordinary talent and his indelible mark on the music industry.
Age is a number, but just his awe-inspiring leads that are just unlike anything that I've seen, you know. Guitar players, because he allows for the lead person to do their song, because he lays back so much, and when he bears down when he needs to, you know.
I just think probably that Terry Ware, he never bought a pair of jeans that already had holes in them. He's not a cover boy for GQ magazine, you know, but you know, I don't know, but you know what I mean. It just he's very practical, you know, and in his style.
Put it this way, I've got a lot of acquaintances in this business and some friends. There's no closer friend to me in this world that we've lived in the last 40 years than Terry Ware. He's my guy. I'm sorry. He's been more supportive of me than anybody. He gets what I've tried to do, and even in the you know, area of highly criticized, because I can be criticized a lot. He's just always been my friend, and I love him. And I want people to really understand what he's meant to Oklahoma music.